Hey everybody, I am Goose. You're watching On With the Show, and today I actually had another topic I wanted to talk about. I'll save that for tomorrow. Oh, I'll save that for tomorrow. I keep banging in the mic. I'll save that for tomorrow. But I saw this online, and it's from the Bay Area, which is where I'm originally from, and I had to talk about it because this kind of thing has been going on for quite a while in different cities, and cities are trying to figure out how to crack down. And if you haven't seen it, there was over the weekend a takeover of the Bay Bridge that ended in multiple arrests and the impounding of several vehicles, which I found absolutely interesting and kind of shocking when I looked at the video, because we're going to go over the article, I'm going to show you some video, and then I'm going to talk about some of the other places that they're trying to crack down on some of this behavior, because it is just continually getting out of hand. If things aren't going to, and a lot of it's driven, as they're saying, by social media. So we're going to get on with this. I'm going to open the OBS, and we're going to get on with the show. Yeah, so let's get started. This is from NBC, the Bay Area, which is again where I'm from. It says, headline reads, at least 9 arrested, 77 vehicles impounded following Bay Bridge takeover. This was written by Sergio Quintana on May 4th. This happened over the weekend, and let's just get into it. Authorities have arrested at least 9 people and impounded 77 vehicles in connection with Sunday's takeover on the Bay Bridge. Officials announced Monday. Now, just to give you an idea, the Bay Bridge is a double-decker bridge. It goes from San Francisco to Oakland, and one way goes into San Francisco, the other way goes into Oakland, and it's basically stacked on top of each other. And yeah, they tried to take over the Bay Bridge, which is bold. In videos shared across multiple social media platforms, dozens of dirt bikes and ATV riders could be seen doing stunts on the upper deck of the bridge during the illegal stunt show. On Monday, Oakland Police Chief James, I'm going to call it Barry, said his officers had been investigating the group of riders for at least a couple of months. So they've had their eyes on these guys for at least a couple of months, and they were ready to take action when the group showed up over the weekend. The planned operation involved more than 100 additional officers from multiple Oakland departments and units. The officers tracked the group's movements, beginning with a stop in San Leandro, followed by a stop in East Oakland to unload motorbikes and ATVs. So they had all this stuff ready. They were unloading it in East Oakland for these kids to just come jump on and ride. The group then rode to Lake Merritt in Berkeley, over to the Bay Bridge to San Francisco, and then back, creating chaos along the way. According to San Francisco police, the group arrived in the city about 4:45 p.m. Thus lasted over 45 minutes. They were in our downtown area in Ingleside districts. San Francisco Police Chief Derek Liu said they quickly overwhelmed intersections and caused great risk to public safety, which is what they apparently like to do. This has been their MO, their modus operandi. As the group headed back to Oakland and approached the Bay Bridge toll plaza, Oakland Police, California Highway Patrol, and San Francisco Police jumped into action and started making arrests. Videos, and I'm going to show the videos posted to multiple social media show some riders abandoning their vehicles, leaving them there, just jumping off and running. 9 people in total were arrested. 5 can expect misdemeanor charges, while 4 more face felonies. During this operation, one individual attempted to flee on foot and jumped a fence and decided to dive into the water. He decided, I don't want to get arrested. I'm going to dive into the bay to try to escape. According to the Oakland Fire Department, that person was rescued and then arrested. In addition to the arrests on the bridge, the Barry said officers also arrested 2 promoters before the ride, and they impounded the vehicles used to haul all of the motorbikes and ATVs to Oakland. For those who managed to get away, Barry said authorities are working to track them down and take them into custody. Yeah, let me just show you the video really quick. This was crazy when I saw it.
to begin with an update to the Bay Bridge takeover yesterday. Dozens of dirt bikes and ATVs tied up traffic on the bridge for an hour. And today, we're learning about new arrests. Let's go and bring in our Sergio Quintana, who's been tracking the story for us today. Sergio, what's the latest?
Well, Hoyt, today we learned a lot more details about not only the operation to try to deal with this incident that basically was in the East Bay and then came here to San Francisco, and then the riders attempted to go back, but also the amount
look at this.
of vehicles that were actually impounded and the arrests made as well. Now,
So let me pause. This guy is weaving through traffic, doing a wheelie, weaving through traffic on the Bay Bridge, which I'm going to tell you is highly unsafe. I don't even think he's wearing a helmet. I can't even tell if he's even wearing a helmet, which by law you're supposed to do. You can see it's on Instagram. By law, you're supposed to wear a helmet when you're on a bike in the state of California. And of course, must be somebody behind him recording this whole thing onto Instagram. So he's just like tooling along. Look at that. In between cars, in between traffic. Oh my gosh, look at all this.
Some of those stunt maneuvers heading on the upper level of the Bay Bridge to San Francisco. But there's also some brand new video that the Oakland Police Department...
Oh my gosh, look at that.
...social media handles. And in this video, you can see this is the point where officers are actually trying to block off those riders from entering Oakland, and those riders are riding back in the wrong direction.
Oh my gosh.
The new span of the Bay Bridge, trying to evade those police officers. A little bit later in that video, you can also see that they actually start trying to kettle them in a little bit closer so they can start to try to make the arrest.
Look at that. They've got them all trapped.
During this whole process, there was even
they don't know what to do.
Who apparently jumped a fence and then jumped into the water right off of the Oakland Bay Bridge. The new span, the fire department had to go in and rescue him and take him out. That is one of the people that was arrested.
Oh my God, look at all that. It's all blocked off.
9 people arrested.
And more coming.
Facing misdemeanor charges, 4 facing felony charges. There were also 77 motorcycles and ATVs that were confiscated or impounded, rather, because they were simply abandoned by their owners. So this was...
Yep, there's a dude that's running. There he is right there.
By the Oakland Police Department,
and there he is being rescued.
And the San Francisco Police Department.
Just seeing all that video, Sergio, surely was a wild scene out there over the weekend, impacting so many drivers. Sergio, according to Oakland Police, this was part of a long-term investigation.
Yeah, so we're going to get an idea of the map here because it's going to show how this all starts.
Yeah, according to the chief of police of the Oakland Police Department, he says his officers had been investigating this group of riders for about the last 2 months. And they started tracking them pretty early on into this whole incident yesterday. According to the police chief, they actually started tracking them at a first stop in San Leandro.
So here it is. Let me just show you. Here's the map. Here's San Leandro down here. This is closer to like the south, the east, south, like the east. This is all East Bay here. So this is what you would call the East Bay. And this is more like the south part of the East Bay. And then, of course, East Oakland.
Where they offloaded a lot of these ATVs and motorcycles in East Oakland, got on them, and then rode to Lake Merritt. They rode to Berkeley, rode to San Francisco, and were here downtown San Francisco for a bit before trying to head back across the Oakland Bay Bridge. And we understand that as part of this whole situation, this is an effort not just to investigate and try to deal with these incidents.
Now they're still trying to escape.
Multiple law enforcement agencies in the Bay Area to deal with this incident and future incidents. And the Oakland Police Chief says there were...
Look at all the... Look at all these motorcycles being hauled away. All these motorcycles are being hauled away.
Sergio, appreciate that update. Thanks so much.
Oh my gosh. So this is absolutely crazy. That... And again, this has been going on for a while. And it's not just happening, in fact, here, I saw this morning. Street takeovers block San Fernando Valley roads as crowds gather overnight. This was posted today, the 6th of May, by Tony Criswell. This is from KTLA 5, which I enjoy watching on YouTube. And it says, the Los Angeles Police Department are searching for drivers involved in a series of street takeovers reported across the San Fernando Valley overnight. Witnesses said as many as 100 people gathered to watch one of the illegal events around 1 a.m. in Lakeview Terrace area. Videos show cars blocking roads, doing burnouts in the intersection of Foothill Boulevard and Osborne Street while crowds looked on. And that's what they try to do. At one point, someone walked into the street and grabbed the tailgate of a moving pickup before climbing into the truck's bed, which, could have ended very, very, very badly. LAPD received multiple additional calls reporting street takeovers across the San Fernando Valley overnight, Tuesday into Wednesday morning, according to the news video services KNN. It was unclear Wednesday morning whether any arrests had been made. So this just happened like overnight in San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles. Let's go to another headline. This is from WLWT5 in Cincinnati. Cincinnati targeting street takeovers with fines and vehicle impoundment. This is from Brian Hamrick. Cincinnati City Council unanimously approved a new ordinance aimed at curbing street takeovers through steep fines and vehicle impoundment penalties. The ordinance passed 9-0. Introduces a $1,000 fine for the first offense and $2,000 fine for the second offense, along with the impoundment requirements for vehicles involved. I think it is the right step, said Councilman Mark Jeffries, who had been advocating for the change. Then it's a criminal offense, which is certainly helpful, right? But this is a civil fine. It hits people where it really hurts. Jeffries further explained the impact of impoundment, saying there's impoundment, losing the car for 6 months, but there's impoundment with fees associated with that, which is thousands of dollars. The urgency for action was underscored by a recent incident at Woodward High School where police made 45 arrests, issued 16 citations, and towed more than 58 vehicles during a street takeover. It's unclear. Cincinnati is not open. It's crystal clear. It's crystal clear. Cincinnati is not open for criminal behavior, and this is a steep step. Make sure I read this right. This is a step in the right direction, said Councilmember Scotty Johnson. Cincinnati is modeling its new ordinance after similar laws already enacted in Louisville. However, the ordinance will not take effect immediately, as the city's legal department must ensure language is specific and enforceable. Then let's go over here to Fox News, where it says rampaging 1,000 mob storms tourist attraction, hurts officers in violent takeover caught on video. This 9 faced charges, including battery on a law enforcement officer after Saturday's chaos at Orlando's Icon Park. This was done by Julia Bonavita, published on the 29th of April. And it goes on to say, over 1,000 teenagers stormed a Florida tourist attraction over the weekend in the latest viral teen takeover, leading to nearly a dozen arrests and landing 2 police officers in the hospital. The chaos kicked off Saturday around 7 when the mob of rowdy juveniles descended on Orlando's Icon Park. According to Fox 35, several fights reportedly broke out within the group, resulting in 2 Orange County deputies being injured as they tried to calm the melee. Both officers were transported to the hospital and subsequently released. The incident, you see a little bit of video down there. The incident led to 9 individuals being taken into custody on charges, including battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting an officer with violence, resisting an officer without violence, and trespassing after receiving a warning. I want to see this. The chaotic video, click on the video in just a minute. The chaotic video obtained by Fox 35 shows local authorities ordering the teens to leave the area as police cars line the roads. Additional footage shows teens running through the streets as onlookers watch from inside a restaurant. Yeah, they were diving for cover is what they were doing. They went into the restaurant because they were diving for cover from all these people. They said they planned something on TikTok. Of course, a TikTok takeover. One individual can be heard saying they posted the crap On YouTube, another person replied. Orange County Sheriff's Office reportedly said the agency was unaware of an event being planned at the entertainment complex and assigned several deputies to the location in preparation for the group's arrival. So they must have known they were coming. Let's take a look at the video. I want to take a look at this video because this looks just crazy. I can't click on it, so. But yeah, it's not just, let's go over to Chicago. We'll hear from Fox 32.
Residents are demanding accountability following a teen takeover late last night where several vehicles were damaged. Take a look at this video that was shared by one.
I think this happened about a month ago. Oh my gosh.
Streets in Hyde Park late last night. Portable police and city leaders.
They're running on cars.
Of so-called teen takeovers. These gatherings, often organized on social media, have been popping up across Chicago many times, leading to
good grief.
Damage and police presence. In this case, witnesses describe a group of about 500 teens moving through the neighborhood, creating a chaotic and tense environment. One resident we spoke to says his vehicle was damaged. He wants to know where these kids' parents are and why they allow.
Well, there's a good question. Where are the parents?
These reckless acts of violence.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. The hood's completely messed up. It's terrible. I'd say like $1,000 worth of damage probably. I have dents everywhere, footprints everywhere. Your kid should not be out here. When I was a kid, I wouldn't even think to do stuff like this. I'm just being honest, I wouldn't. But I had parents who guided me. They guided my mistakes and what I did. That these parents, they just let them run rampant. So I don't know if I have a message.
The Chicago police say 3 teen curfew violations were issued and a 16-year-old girl was issued a citation, if you recall, last week. There was also a teen takeover in downtown where 8 teens were arrested. Residents here worry that these so-called teen takeovers are happening more often and becoming more violent each time. We're live here in Hyde Park. Les Moreno, Fox, Chicago.
Yeah, so I think that is part of the problem because they're issuing citations. Ooh, I got a citation. I have to pay a fine. Ooh, big deal. I think it would be even a bigger deal like that they're doing in San Francisco if they arrested him and took them to jail. Then you have to come pick up your teenager from San Francisco jail. What? What's he doing in San Francisco? I thought he was going to his friend's house. What is he doing over there? Yeah, well, we arrested him because he was part of a teen takeover here. What? And the dude's right. I mean, he's a lot younger than I am, but back in my day, if we ever did something like that, trust me, I wouldn't be able to sit for a week. Because my mother made sure that she disciplined me, and you may say, oh, that's so abusive. No, it's how else was I going to get the message? Let me put it like this. If my butt ended up in jail, trust me, my mom would make sure that, that I would never do it again. And so the guy has a valid question. Where are the parents? Why aren't the parents doing anything? They know there's a curfew. Okay, why aren't the parents doing anything? So I'm going to close the OBS out. I'm going to give my opinion on the other side of this because I have some serious things I really have to say about this. And I'm going to get right down. I'm not going to even beat around the bush. I'm going to get right down to it because I think a lot of this very much is dangerous. And some people are going to end up killed over this. So let me close the OBS out and I will check back with you on just the other side of this. All right. So I actually have a lot to say about this because this has been going on for a while. It's been going on for like several years. We've had takeovers here in Bakersfield and they're even getting bold enough now. They used to be where they were finding like streets where there wasn't a lot of, where they couldn't be bothered, where they could do their thing and the police wouldn't show up. Now, I think the last takeover they did here, they actually blocked a major intersection here in Bakersfield to do their street takeover. And it got to the point even where I think, someone may have even gotten out of their car and gotten hurt People didn't like the fact that they were being told to break this crap up and go home. I have to be somewhere. No, they're getting aggressive. They're getting more bold. They're not going to be told no. And then they somehow get out of there before the cops show up, because what they've done is now they've impeded traffic so badly that the cops can't get over there to arrest them, you know, because they've taken over a huge, like I said, huge intersections. They're hitting spots in one location, and then they're packing up for the police to get there and going to another location, and then they hit that and they're going to another location. They're trying to do their thing and then get out of there before the police show up. I think the interesting part here is that the Oakland Police Department have been following these guys for 2 months. They've been keeping tabs on them. They've been letting them do their thing for 2 months, trying to figure out what they're doing. And what they're doing is they start in one location, they drop off all the bikes and the ATVs in another location, and then they start on their, I don't want to say rampage, but did you see how many? There had to have been well over 100 vehicles involved with this, almost to the point where it's like, yeah, let's show up and you get your bike. And again, these are dirt bikes. These are not bikes that are supposed to be actually on the pavement. I mean, you can drive them around your neighborhood. That happens here all the time. Kids, they get on their motorbikes and they drive around the neighborhood, and they have some fun. But they're called dirt bikes for a reason. And yet these ATVs and these dirt bikes end up going on. They went on the Bay Bridge. You saw footage of that guy doing a wheelie in between traffic. I mean, it would not take much for something really bad to happen. A guy, pulls out in front of him, doesn't see him. He doesn't quite get the wheelie just right around one particular car and overcorrects and fall. I mean, what has to happen? I mean, because we've already had people who've been assaulted trying to stop a takeover. So what's going to happen when one of these things happen and someone gets seriously hurt or killed or run over, and then people are going to start pointing fingers about, you should have been more careful. Why didn't he know he was there? What's he doing stunts on the Bay Bridge in between traffic? I actually saw this because we have kids here. They have these bikes, not motorbikes, but bicycles. These big, and I don't even know what they're called, but they're big, heavy-duty bicycles. And they go out and the same thing in the middle of the street, and they do their wheelies, they do their tricks. I actually saw one guy almost, honest to God, almost, he's doing a wheelie, and he almost runs into a parked car. And he literally has to correct himself, and he almost has to overcorrect himself before he hits his parked car. I know kids like to push the limits. I liked to push the limits when I was younger. I'm not saying anything that I don't already know about, but it's like, what has to happen? Again, I have to go back to what has to happen before something seriously changes. Because sooner or later, someone's going to get seriously hurt, or they're going to get slapped with, I think what they're doing. I think what they're doing in Cincinnati is smart. I think if you hit them with, hey, here's $1,000 fine. Oh, caught again. Here's a $2,000 fine. Oh, caught again. Hey, you're going to spend some time in jail. Oh, and you're going to have to pay a fine. Oh, we don't care how old you are. You're 15 years old. Well, you can spend your time in juvenile detention. And let me tell you something. For me personally, the last thing I wanted to do when I was a teenager was to end up in detention, in that kind of detention. You didn't want to go to juvenile hall. My mom would have not only would she have cried, which is the one thing I did. You don't want to make your mom cry, but she would have as soon as I got out, she would have laid down the law and I would have not done anything. I would have been home confinement. But the fact that the Oakland Police Department had, been following these guys, and they went in San Francisco and the streets of San Francisco are not a place for you to terrorize. I've driven in San Francisco. That's not a kind of place you want to like have 100 motorbikes and ATVs, so you're going down the streets around, you really don't want to have to, you really don't want to, those streets are dangerous enough without having to deal with a takeover. Then they decide to go back, and as they get back, try to get back in Oakland, oh my gosh, the police are here. And they've got the entire bridge blocked off. And then so they try to go back, and they see the cops in San Francisco and in the California Highway Patrol blocked off. And they're pinned in, and they got nowhere to go. And the fact is, one guy thinks it's smart enough to just, I'm going to jump the fence, and I'm going to jump in the water, and I'm going to get away. Yeah, you just made it easier for them to arrest you. All right? But I think it does come down to what that guy asked. It's like, where are the parents? Why are the parents allowing this why are they allowing their kids to do this? It is a crazy, crazy thing to sit here and like watch this video and to like, and again, I read articles from not San Francisco, Los Angeles, Cincinnati, Florida, Orlando, Chicago. They're doing and it's being led by social media. And let me just tell the people who are putting these takeovers together, if you're doing it through social media, you're just making it easier for them to find you and to arrest you. And I got a plane over my head, which is okay. But that's what this is all driven about. It's all driven through social media. It's the TikTok takeover. It's let's do this on TikTok, and we can be TikTok famous for 15 minutes. Because that's what it's basically all about. It's being famous it's having your 15 minutes of fame by doing something stupid for TikTok or Instagram. As we saw Instagram for the prior video of the guy doing the wheelie on the bridge, which is like, I understand the challenge. But you're going to have to also understand the risks of what happens when something goes awry. If someone suddenly hits their brakes, if someone suddenly cuts you off, which in California happens quite often. Somebody cutting you off, especially either in San Francisco or Los Angeles. And especially in the Bay Bridge. Being cut off on the Bay Bridge, I've driven on the Bay Bridge dozens of times. It is not, It is not, driving that bridge is not a big deal, but it does have a tendency to have, a lot of traffic on it. And, this kind of stuff just makes things worse, and I think what needs to really, really happen in order for this to stop is I think the people who need to be given the most serious time and the most serious fines are the ones who are organizing these takeovers. And let's be honest, all the police officers have to do is backtrack the social media to the social media user to find out who it is. And I think that the people who are the ones organizing these things are the ones who should face the most serious jail time and the most serious fines, because they are the ones putting other people's lives in danger. They might be out there doing it with them, but they're the ones organizing it. And they're the ones putting other people. And what's going to happen when someone dies? Because eventually someone is going to die. Who's going to be responsible? Is it going to be the person who organized it, or is it going to be the person who participated in it? These are the kind of questions and I seriously think that our local politicians, first, let's make it start locally, then let's take it statewide. But it's got to be something where the people who organize this are going to be the ones that face the most serious consequences, because that's usually what happens. Look at any other tragedy that happens. The people who are in charge, who put it together, are the ones who usually face the biggest risk and are the ones that face the most serious jail time, the most serious fines. Anyway, I think I've made my point. Thank you so much for watching this show today. If you haven't already, go down, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications so you always know when a new podcast is loaded on YouTube. Give me a big like, a big thumbs up, because it does help me with the algorithm and to get this podcast out to as many people as possible. Share this out to your friends, family, and neighbors. Let them know what I'm talking about over here On With The Show. Because I'm going to be bringing up some other stuff that I've been. I actually had another show scheduled for today, but I saw this and I had to talk about this. So you're going to love seeing my show tomorrow. And if you like this video already, you're gonna love the video that I got coming up next. And do me a favor, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this topic. What do you think needs to happen? Are we making a big deal about this? Are we making a big deal about nothing? Or does this need to stop now? And we need to put people in jail for putting this together. I'd love to know what your comments are. But with all of that being said, I am Goose. This is On With The Show. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the other side.